Have you ever watched somebody's underwaters and just thought, damn, they don't even look like they're trying. And yet they're flying down the lane. And then there's you, kicking your face off, working your butt off, and barely holding your line to the breakout. Your lungs are burning, your tempo is frantic, and somehow you're still getting past. It's totally frustrating, right? You probably heard the same advice over and over again. You just need better ankle flexibility. You should be able to point your toes like a ballerina. Do more stretching. Look, I'm not saying flexibility is useless, but if flexibility was the secret to fast dolphin kick, we'd all just do yoga and then break records. Here's the truth. You don't need to be flexible. You need to move better. And today I'm going to show you how to go about this. We're going to break down exactly what makes a dolphin kick fast, even if you have stiff ankles. We're going to talk about the hip motion, the force transfer, the kinetic timing, and the ankle strength, not just mobility. I'm going to give you a series of drills, visual cues, and even a full breakdown of how elite kickers build elite underwaters. So let's address the big myth to start. You can't have a good dolphin kick unless you have perfect ankle flexibility. The myth is everywhere. You hear it on deck, you see it in the YouTube comments from well meaning coaches who think the solution to every bad kick is foam rolling and toe pointing. But the truth is much simpler for that. Range of motion is only valuable if you can control it. You don't need passive mobility. You need active propulsion. I've seen swimmers with stiff ankles absolutely shred underwaters because they understand how to use their hips, their core, and their legs to transfer power. And I've seen swimmers with beautiful ballet like flexibility who kick like they're trying to fan themselves with their feet. Speed doesn't come from being bendy, it comes from being connected. So let's get into this a little bit deeper. Fast dolphin kick isn't about just having floppy feet. It's about force production, transfer, and direction. Here are the four key components. You want hip motion. This is your engine. Your hips start the wave, not your knees, not your ankles. If your kick starts from your knees, you're leaking power before it even begins, before it even gives you a chance to get any speed going. Think about snapping a whip. It starts at the base and travels to the tip. That's your kick. You're flapping. You're sending a controlled pulse of energy down the chain. But in order to do this, you need to have core stability. The core links the hips to the feet. It stabilizes the wave. If your core is too soft, that energy dissipates. Ever see a swimmer whose whole body is kind of wiggly? That's lost energy. It might look cool on TikTok, but it loses races. Moving down the chain, we get to the ankle strength. Yes, strength, not flexibility. Strong ankles help you push against the water, not just to point your toes. Your down kick is only as powerful as your foot can press and hold that water. Oftentimes, as coaches, we always talk about holding and pressing water up at the catch, but we rarely focus on the down part of our kick in our feet, in our ankles. You want your foot to act like a fin, not a limp sock. And the fourth, but probably one of the most important ones, is timing. Elite kickers don't just kick faster, they kick with a rhythm that follows their body line and momentum. Every kick complements the next movement. If they kick too early, you're wasting force. You kick too late, you stall. The goal is to continue to have continuity from one to the next. So when you train dolphin kick, you don't want to just train the kick. You want to train the timing of the motion through the whole body. It's basically an economy of scale. You start off having to put a lot of effort in to get that initial speed, but as you continue on that motion, then the speed just naturally comes. You get to build off of every single kick. So let's put this into application. You want to fix your dolphin kick, you will need three different things. First, you need awareness, you need strength, and you need control. So here are some drills and movements I use with my swimmers. The first is vertical dolphin kick. If you want to really challenge yourself, add a cup on your head, balance it while you do your kick. Stand upright in the deep end of the pool, arms either in a streamline or across the body. Place that cup on your forehead. Now dolphin kick in place. The cup helps force alignment. You quickly see if you're starting the kick from the chest or the hips or the knees. You'll feel it when your core wobbles. The next drill I like to use is called wall press kicking. With your hands on the wall, you start the motion of kicking while keeping your glutes and heels firm. This teaches straight line kicking. It gets you to use your entire body. With younger kids, I like to use the phrase, make the pool bigger. That's how hard you should be kicking. You're getting that equal motion of the up and the down kick. No cheating with bent knees. You're training ankle press and hip control. Moving on to land, you want to try having a bear crawl to a streamlined kick. Start with a bear crawl for 10 seconds or 4 or 5 movements forward, then drop into a streamline and practice a dolphin kick. The bear crawl activates your core, hips, and your shoulders. When you transfer into the kick, your body is primed to move as one unit. Jumping back into the pool, I like to have power bob kick sets. Push off in the deep end, dolphin kick to the surface with 5 fast kicks, trying to get as much height out of the pool as you possibly can. Take that breath when you break the surface, then sink back down and repeat. Speed is your friend here. This helps build timing and power out of the gate. You're forcing explosive engagement and tempo. And finally, I like to use banded kick extensions and resisted dorsal flexions. Use a mini resistance band around your toes. Press against the band with the top of your foot. This builds active ankle strength, not just range. Mobility, active stretching, not just static yoga. You're not training for the splits. You're training for dynamic range under tension. Do exercises like resisted toe points, single leg bridges, and deep squats with ankle control. And no, you don't need to spend 30 minutes stretching. 5 minutes of active work post practice will do more than an hour of passive foam rolling. Let me share an athlete story for you. This is from a member of the Swim Accelerator. a online program that I run and help swimmers worldwide with their swimming frustrations. And working on their dolphin kick and their underwaters is one of the prime reasons swimmers come to me. So this swimmer, he's around 17, very strong. He's a national qualifier in the US, but his underwater game is weak. It's great when he does long course because underwaters don't mean as much. But when it comes to short course, he was always falling a little behind. His coaches would tell him that he just needed to be more flexible. He needed to stretch a little bit more. And so he did these things. He took his training very seriously. He joined a yoga group. He even tried Pilates. He even started working with a PT on all of his flexibility. Sadly, very little changed in his underwaters. When we started working together and I started reviewing some of the footage of his past races, we came up with a game plan. We saw that he wasn't getting enough power, enough of that down kick. His coaches had missed it. So we didn't start with more stretching. We started to focus on how he could have force transfer. I had him do a lot of sets with vertical kick, adding that cup on his head. Then banded foot extensions, underwater filming so we could keep track and monitor, keeping him accountable for his actions. And what this did is it rebuilt his connection from his hips to his feet. Within 3 weeks, his 15-meter split dropped by half a second. 3 months in, he was consistently winning on the breakouts. The difference? We stopped chasing the flexibility factor and we built his kick like a weapon. It wasn't magic, it was precision, progress, and a lot of patience. And that's what we do inside the Swim Accelerator for every one of our swimmers. We meet you where you are. The custom training programs are going to be different from you to another swimmer in the program. I spend countless hours working with you in order to make it work. And you can start today with a 7-day free trial. Don't miss this opportunity. Precision over volume. That will win every single time. So, if you want to fix your dolphin kick this week, here's how you start. First off, film it. If you can, find an underwater camera, whether it be a GoPro or a special casing for your iPhone, film it. Have somebody film your underwaters from the side of the pool. Watch for where your kick starts. How much of it is from your knees? And are your ankles catching water? Are you seeing that pressure pushing down? I'll leave you with one more tip before I get to the next step. Think about pushing a soccer ball down to the bottom of the pool every time you kick. Bouncing it back up and then hitting it again. Bouncing it back up, hitting it again. You want to focus on that hip initiation. In warm-ups, do 25s where you only start the kick from the hips. Small amplitude, tight line, high frequency. Feel that control. Then strengthen your ankles. Every day after practice, take 5 minutes. I guarantee you have 5 minutes to spare. Resistance, dorsiflexions, fin kicks, band presses. Build that control over time. And remember, you don't need to be a ballerina. You need to be a bullet in the water. So don't chase flexibility alone. Build force. That's how you're going to fix your dolphin kick. Let's get after it, and let's watch this video for even more tips and techniques.